What a blessing it is to have somebody supportive in your life. I had a very short conversation, literally 30 seconds. Um, he couldn't understand that I was saying blink. He kept saying drink. I was like, what? um, uh, because prior to that, he was doing push-ups with like one of the staffing. And I was just like, oh, that's okay. That's what we doing on a Sunday. Okay. I guess you got to jazz it up, right? Um, but I was trying to squeeze through. That's why I won't disturb him. And I seen the gentleman again. I was just like, you going to the gym? I see you going to blink? And then he's just like, yeah. He's like, I got 2 gym memberships. Da, da, da. He's talking about them. And he's just like, one of them, I was like, it's super expensive to be there. And he's like, his grandma helps him, which is really sweet. When you have supportive people in your life, right? And not just financially, supportive people that believe in you or they speak life into you, or they're pretty much their supporting hands to kind of get you where you need to be who you are meant to be. Appreciate them. Of course, that gentleman, he truly appreciates his grandma. He's just like, I love that lady. He's just like, I definitely am grateful for my grandmother. And I was just like, oh, good job. It does pay. Because there's a good portion of people that don't have any supportive measures. Or it's that supportive health, I wouldn't say not just the health system, but the supportive network is a fallacy for some people. So it may look on cover like, oh, you got this person, you got that person, and they don't give 2 shits about that person. It just may be just for show, and that person is truly trucking it and doing it everything by themselves. And I don't know, look into societal base, right? Sociology standpoint. Let's look at it like poverty, right? Or poverty mindset. So some people, some families, if you look over history, right? If you look at certain demographics, there are people, families out there that the only thing that they do have is to barely, just to survive, right? There is no thought of 401k. There is no thought of a pension. There is no thought of, let's buy some stock. There is no thought of invest in yourself, right? Or many of those members within that system, right, that family system, they don't have the privilege to go into fields that they want to go in, right? Say you want to become, I don't know, a dancer, right? You want to dance in ballet, and it's very a competitive field. It's very hard to get into. You have to look the part. You have to have a certain body structure. Okay, of course now it's starting to get broad. With you can have a particular look and still get in. You could be a certain weight and still get in, right? And still dance in the ballet. But traditionally, back in the day, you had to be like a size fucking 2, size 0, in order for anyone to even acknowledge, right? You have to have a particular look. You will not get any lead roles. So let's talk about the cost of tuition, the cost of going to a Juilliard. Those things are not an option. Most of the time, back in those times, where we still kind of see presently is go for a job that you're going to be financially stable. Not financially free, financially stable. go for trade work, right? Go for a job that they can't, you'll have that job forever, right? Most people go into healthcare, become a nurse. Like, back in that day, become a teacher, right? Certain things, or city jobs, right? Become a police officer, work for the MTA, work for sanitation. Those type of jobs are hard to get out. You're not going to be in a wake of, oh my God, I'm out of a job. They provide good benefits and such and such. So that is the mindset of, this is how you're going to set yourself up to win in your life, right? While on the latter, there's other families that do have that financial foundation where they have the freedom to say, well, you want to become an artist? Well, go ahead. Paying for the whole tuition, grandmama. And it comes with its other challenges, of course, but there are two different kind of people. When I used to work in a hospital years ago, like 7 years ago, 10 years ago. But there were two different type of doctors that I will always see. Ones that truly cared about people and wanted to save a life. And there were ones that didn't know jack shit about nothing. Was on Google MD for every single patient and was chit-chatting with the staff all the time, just in everything but medical. Killing people. Okay? Killing people. These doctors are killing motherfuckers. All for, well, this is a very good job, right? They skid by. And they truly don't care about the patient. They don't care about the patient's well-being. They don't care about the patient experience. And yeah, it can be grave consequences for many people. Hospital life has its own inner city network of gossip. And you will hear like, oh, did you hear this doctor? This doctor fucking made a horrible mistake and the patient fucking died. And everyone's looking at that doctor like, ugh, doctor could work again, But it happens all the time. And then there are doctors that a patient codes and the whole entire team is up on that unit. And the doctor, I've heard stories. I've never seen it in person, but you can hear them. Give units of I think it's Colace or I forgot what the term was, but I think it's like adrenaline or something like that they give in the to keep the heart going. But there are stories of this one particular doctor. I've never met this doctor before, or not knowing who it was, but a patient was coded. She was 80 years old. She wanted to go. She didn't want to be here. She let her body go. And the doctors fought for like an hour in there, like an hour, almost damn near like an hour and a half, fighting for this woman to live. And one of the doctors, he cut open the chest, the sternum, and massaged the heart himself. And it was just like, oh my God, he was like the person was like the Superman of the whole hospital. Because it's just like, usually if, they'll put the defibrillator on, if they'll pump Colace, whatever. If those things don't work, then they call it. They fucking call it. They'll do rounds of compressions and they'll call it. And then there are doctors that it's like, they live about their life. Those are the ones that are based on all the gray anatomies and, all these doctor shows. They are the pinnacle. I've met plenty of doctors that it is an honor to work in the same building as you. It's an honor to take you where you need to go. It is an honor because they're phenomenal. Truly, truly care. And I've been blessed to kind of know a few doctors over the years that I have met nurses, support staff, like nurse assistants, clerks. Like, don't forget about, because the thing is like the title of doctor, I think it's a deserving prestige, but it is given very freely. And if someone it's called the God complex. If somebody falls into that facade of the title, right, and not the responsibility of that crown or how heavy that crown is of character, right, character building, the person could get a humongous head, like, and forget it. But the hospital where I worked at, more often than not, they're like the best of the best. Best of the best. They only like the best, they get into that program, right? Because the hospital I worked at was a teaching hospital. So the school was attached to the hospital, and like, mischievous little me who would go into the college or whatever, and we would go like in the basement to go see the demonstration, like the school, like, the classrooms. And one time we stumbled upon cadavers. So they were like dissecting cadavers. Now, people are used to dissecting a frog, right? My son asked, when am I going to cut open a frog? And I was just like, soon, baby. Soon enough. But it was cadavers. And it was wild because like you see it in TV shows or you see it in movies, but to see it in person, they literally have like donated bodies in these clear big plastic bags. Like they're all smushed together. And you're like, oh my God, it's a human body. like the whole thing, right? And you can see inside the classroom's huge. And, every single station, there's no head, there's no legs, no arms. It's literally just the chest. They have to do surgery. They're practicing surgery. And I was begging, can we please stay? Because the instructor was like, you guys want to get in on this? Like, you want to see, like, observe? And I'm like, hell fucking yeah, let's go. And then somebody showed their weary head. If they're not in the class or whatever, it's dangerous, they can't be here. And that was like my first taste of like, this is what a doctor's life is like. And I was like, that shit is it's not bad at all. They're learning how to save a life. Like, they have to practice particular sutures or, how to do this type of cut. And I didn't get to see it, and it sucks. But just to even be in that room for like even like the 30 seconds, 60 seconds, it was just like, yes. I don't know. I've always had a fondness for doctors because I've seen how hard everybody works. I've seen them really care about a patient, really care, and do every fucking thing to keep this patient alive. People that are usually in the hospital long term are really sick. They're extremely sick. So it's like, taking your health for granted. Especially my journey, it's not terminal. I don't think so. But you do have gratitude for your health, because I've seen people from 100 years old all the way down to like fucking a couple of minutes old, literally, and in the hospital for years, some of them. Some people are indefinite. And then it's unfortunate because it's like, I don't know. But I met a few patients. I met a few doctors that I will never forget. You become part of their family. You see them every single day, in and out, taking them to their exams or talking with them, blah, 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 blah. And also you see death. You do see death in the hospital a lot. Especially, if you work in ICUs, if you're stationed on a certain floor and, like pulmonary or whatever, or fucking oncology. Oncology is fucking, oh my God. It is just, hi, how are you? Hi, how can I make your day better? It's hard. It's really hard. And you see people all the time. You've seen love stories. There was a guy, young guy, probably like in his 30s, and he fell in love with his nurse, but he had cancer. Fell absolutely in love with the nurse, and the nurse fell back in love. That's the wild shit. They both loved each other, and everyone was just like, you guys can do it. You guys can do it. Get together. Like, just get out of here first. Get better first. And for months, if I had him as a patient, I'd be like, oh, what's up? And he would tell me, oh my God, did you see her today? She's so beautiful today. Absolutely awesome. It was a white guy. Awesome guy, yo. He had this outlook of life that was just like, bro, you got the winning hand. You got the shitty hand of like earthly things, but character-wise, you got the winning hand, bro. For your outlook on life is like, what? He was just always happy. He was always happy. He was always kind, even on the days where it's just like, And he ended up dying. He passed away. And it was a shock for everybody because it was just like, yo, we wanted you to make it. It was almost to the point you wanted him to make it so bad that you forgot that he had cancer. And you forgot that there was like, yo, he's terminal. Like, he only has this much to live. And he tried every fucking thing. Every fucking thing. And it sucks. It sucks. I've met girls in like their fucking 20s that had cancer, sick. And the mother, she was like a psychic or something. And I would take her daughter, her name was Olivia. I would take this young lady to she used to always be on oncology or she'll be on fucking ICU. Back and forth, up and down. She'd just get transferred to one floor to the other. And I would take up her exams, and she would always talk to me about, about bullshit. Like, wow, fuck my mother. She gonna leave me fuck alone. I'd be like, your mom loves you. Like, what's wrong with you? Your mom loves you. And
Excuse me, yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Is that you with the city right I have to clean up all the time?
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm on you Sundays, but I'll go over here.
No. Just throw it in the street.
In the street?
Throw it in the
No problem. I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just think people have to do about the tree. And I know where you work and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
not an issue. Just make yourself comfortable. It's cool.
Gotcha. But in the street. Gotcha. Yes. You're welcome. You too. Happy Sunday. So I forgot my train. Oh, no. Okay. So Olivia loved her mom. Her mom fucking loved the shit out of her. And the mother was a psychic. And I don't know, for some reason she had she liked me a lot. And, because, at that time I was in my 20s, so it's like a young girl trying to relate to another young girl, and it's just like, it's going to be okay, And her mother came to me and she was just like, I need to do your reading. And I'm just like, this is bizarre. It's like, no. And then she was just like, literally just talking. And I'm just like, okay, but ever since then, her mother, every time she saw me, big hugs and, oh my God, are you coming up to Olivia's room today? And, I brought snacks and da-da-da-da. And it's just like, you're so sweet. Like, mom is very sweet. She's definitely in that psychic stuff, but very sweet. And it's multiple families. I've been to funerals, and it's sad. It's sad. But because of that, you see the fragility of life. You see just how small we are in this huge world. Like, you can go at any time, and love while you can. Love people, even if you don't know them. People that work in the hospital, we become second family to people all the time. Because you don't know if you're going to be admitted and staying for the day, or if you're going to be staying there and never leave. It can go from one extreme to the next. So, I don't know. I guess I was like the starting point or the catalyst of, damn, should I actually become a doctor? Because because I was the type of person that was hands-on, super hands-on. Even though I was only a transporter. But because I was so curious and I was always like, what's this do? And what da-da-da-da. Nurses would teach me how to do this is a shunt. This is how you put in an IV. If the IV gets backed up, then, call me or whatever. But you take this syringe and you just, you have to flush it out and da-da-da, or just how you close the IV, stuff like that. It's how you vent a patient. I actually vented a patient once, which was like, wow, because I was like, you entrusting me about his breathing? Are you serious? But it was a humongous bed. Person had like a shit ton of poles of just nothing but IVs and fucking just every single monitor you can fucking think of. Like, it was dangerous moving him. It's a CAT scan. Dangerous. So nurse had to come. Doctor had to come. Transport was obvious there. Respiratory had to come. I think IV team had to come as well. So it's like the elevator is jam packed. The bed is fucking huge. Everyone's squished against the walls, and respiratory didn't go in the same order that everyone else was going in. Respiratory got left out and had to squeeze themselves all the way to the front. I was the only person by that patient by the bag, and she was just like, okay, I'm gonna teach you how to pump right now. And I was like, okay. And she's coaching me through it. And it must have been like the longest fucking elevator ride. But thank God, ain't nothing go beep, 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 beep. I was praying with my life. Nothing went beep, 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 beep. But, yeah, I learned how to, like with pumping patients, people think that you pump and you go pump, 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 pump. Like you pump and you fucking wait. You pump and it's just like taking a regular breath. And you don't pump super hard. Like you pump. I don't know. It's when you feel, it's like when you feel the bag, and it takes a little but I jumped into that shit like fish in water, yo. I was just like, I want to know. But I'm always a curious one. And many nurses was like, you should become a nurse. And I was like, I don't know. At that time, I was like, I want to be a photographer. Because, or at that time, I want to go to Taiwan. I want to leave. I don't want to be here. I had fucking green hair, orange hair, all kind of wild stage. And, yeah, they were just like, you should become a nurse. And I was like, nah. And it didn't take until I was in college where I was just like, I fell in love with psychology. Absolutely fell in love with it. So, I was initially going to go in as a fine art major and switch my major to liberal, and then was taking, classes, took psychology class. And after that, I switched to bio. Found out the hard way about bio. And I was like, yeah, I don't have time for this shit. I'm old. Like, I can't really do this shit. Like, I'm like in my 30s in here. And yeah. So, and on top of that, I work, I had a kid. Like, you can't just, I'm dedicating all my time and da-da-da-da. So it wasn't in my deck of cards to become a doctor. Even though I do have a love for medicine, I have a love for herbs, like, what herbs heal this and that, how to heal the body. I'm fascinated by it. I am fascinated by surgery, how do people can take these small little things and fucking like save somebody. But it's not enough of a desire or not enough of a curiosity for me to pursue it as a career. So I don't know, when it comes to, if you have the opportunity, take it. If you have a supportive grandma that pays for your Equinox, fucking take it. Like, take the opportunity. Take all your opportunities, right? Because, just like how life, right? People at the hospital can not come out of the hospital. Those things are privileges. They're granted to us. It is a privilege to live. It is a privilege to be alive. In all honesty, if you really think about it, it's a privilege to be alive. Take full advantage and be everything that you can be, even if it is hard. It ain't fucking easy. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you no fairy tale. Oh, it's gonna be super easy. You good. Nah, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. You're gonna be fucking mad as hell half the damn time. Tired on the other. But there's joy in it. There's joy in that. So if you have the opportunity, and sometimes it is, if something is within God's will, trust and believe, you'll do it. You just have to be willing. Faint not. Faint not and run your race. Become the remnant. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. You look at my story, someone that was supposed to become something that they thought this was what life was going to be like or supposed to be like, ended up making a whole nonprofit, a whole podcast, does all these things, can sing and then cannot sing all at the same time, right? So, the honor to be a mom, there's beauty. There's so much beauty and there's so much opportunity that you have, that take advantage of it. Be appreciative of what you have and be ready for the opportunity if it arises. And I don't know, that's it. This song from was it The Crazy Lady? You don't have to listen to me, I'm crazy. So, or what's one of the other gossips? One of the other slanderous lies. Was it the alcoholic? Okay. But yeah, take heed of what I said. Take your opportunities. Do everything you have to do. Especially if God grants it for you, because it ain't no coincidence. If you're supposed to do this, then you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. And if people are there to give you a helping hand, appreciate it. Because sometimes support is a fallacy. Straight up. Like, non-existent.